Hi, everybody. My name is Reagan Sinclair, and I'm Korea Assiniboine and Soto from Treaty 4 area in Canada, southern Saskatchewan. My First Nation is called the George Gordon First Nation, and I'm also Crow, Northern Sioux or Assiniboine, Young Dog Assiniboine, and Red River Métis heritage. Um, I'm also the Cree Carnivore, and I am 93 days on carnivore, on a carnivore lifestyle. And I feel compelled to do this video to join the voices out there, but also to add a little bit of diversity because I haven't seen a whole lot, a little bit more and more as time goes on, and also to encourage my relatives, my relations, people in our nations to remember, remember our health and work towards it. So I wanted to just briefly talk about the journey so far. So in December, I got pretty sick of myself and the weight that I was carrying, how I was feeling. I had high blood pressure. I was verging on hypertension from the stresses of recent years. And just as an example, my blood pressure was at 140 over 84, 149 over 84, which is, getting is at the stage where your doctor wants to give you shit. All right, gotta stop this. A fake Amazon call interrupted me. So that's the point at which your doctor says, here, take this medication. And what else? Man, like aches and pains all the time, no energy. And I had taken a blood test in mid-December, and then I started on keto for a couple of days. I knew that wasn't going to work, and just I had this intuition that just even those the amount of low carbs that I was consuming was just making me want more, and so I just was eating more. And so on the third day, January 3rd, I didn't eat, and I was sitting there just thinking about what to eat that might radically change my life, and I thought meat. And yeah, so I made myself a steak later that day, and it was awesome. And in the early stages, I snacked quite a bit. I did have, like, let's see, um, I'd have Kraft cheese because it was the only thing that I could eat other than regular cheese. I had pepper, as a spice, and I had a bit of dairy here and there, yogurt, and I ate well, sugar-free, right? Sugar-free yogurt, sugar-free gelatin, and so on. And now what I've discovered is the more I do this, the less I'm tolerant of anything. So I'm lying. uh, just meat, salt, water, and a few supplements. Magnesium is something that everybody should be taking in the early stages, and also iodine, because after watching, a number of these awesome people, Dr. Sai was from the States, of course, Dr. Anthony Chafee, Dr. Elizabeth Bright, all of these people, I've just been learning, which is a really important thing to do to learn about our nutrition. But I discovered that I recognized that I was really malnourished coming into this, and a couple of things that were really urgent because I've had thyroid disorder for 30 years, and I recognized that chances are good I'm iron deficient and magnesium deficient, and so I've been supplementing with those as well as vitamin C. And a number of the doctors remind us that down the road we will likely not need supplement as long as we're eating a good quality of grass-fed beef and whatnot. And I have no doubt that in another 3 to 6 months that I'll be attuned enough to my well-being that I will be able to know if something is amiss. And I also intend to get hair analysis and that sort of thing. But so within a few weeks, of course, I went through like the carnivore flu, and And for me, because I'm 62 years old, that took me about, it's taken me probably 80 days, the first 80 days to get really sort of regulated. And I just recently got back from Japan, and it was really hard for me to be carnivore there because everything's got sauces and so on in it and fillers and that sort of thing. But it was fine, for the time I was there. I got home and I was really excited because to get home and eat just meat, to have big steaks that weren't cooked in vegetable oil or didn't have some kind of a spice on them or that sort of thing. And within a few days, I was right as rain. What I noticed though is that anytime I ate, even just residual traces of rice or flour or any kind of coating, because I'd have shrimp and I'd have to take off all the coating, right? Big, huge, beautiful shrimp, delicious, but coated. I'd end up with a stitch in my stomach for a few hours after eating, and it was just sort of it went with the went with the program of being in Japan. But now that I'm back, I'm really just gotten into the pure lion diet, and I do eat more than just beef. So maybe I don't know, maybe it's like a cougar diet or a panther diet, because it's not just beef and water and salt. It's beef and pork and what else is there? Chicken. I haven't had any turkey. It doesn't interest me. Chicken's so lean, and I do have wild meat. So I've got moose meat and elk meat. People have been gifting me these things since they've heard I'm a carnivore now, and so I'm really grateful for that. Um, the other thing too, though, is that they're quite lean, and so I'm going to ask my hunters if they can just keep the fat on, because I do supplement with butter as well, a grass-fed butter. And but the difference is amazing. So in 93 days I've lost just about 40 pounds, and I was hitting 250. And I know from my younger days that my sort of fighting weight is about 160. I've always carried more weight than I look. I'm down 4 sizes. Every day, things that were tight a couple of days before are just getting looser. So it's a good thing that I didn't throw away all my smaller clothes from years past. It's good to be a hoarder in some ways. Um, but it's interesting, that whole experience. My energy is so much better. I feel calm all the time. The brain fog is gone. What else? It's like there's just really no sort of end to the positive pieces of being a carnivore, and not only learning about it, but it's as if I'm remembering our paleo diet, our traditional, indigenous diet. And when I think about some of the the historical stories and research that I've done, I mean, this was our diet. We were hunters and gatherers, but of course the gathering was seasonal. And so as the berries grow and so on, I'm going to consider making pemmican with berries, and but just that from our territories, like blueberries and saskatoons and a few other ones. um but we'll see. I know that my body will tell me if those are going to work for me. I came into this with a really, I was verging on diabetic. My doctor wanted me to do another fasting blood glucose because he says, "Oh, I think you're diabetic." And I said, well, I'm not willing to drink a whole cup of sugar, because at this point, when I went back to see him again, my tests were pretty good, but indicated pre-diabetes. And I said, I kind of laughed and said, I'm not diabetic. Because even after 6 weeks, it's like my blood sugar is just rock solid. I haven't eaten yet today, and it's only 11 a.m., but I've been up since 5. And I'm actually not planning on eating until late this evening, because I had beef ribs yesterday morning, and then I had some pork ribs in the evening, and just like, yeah, not a lot, but enough. And I feel satiated. My blood sugar is stable. I'm clear. I'm not craving anything. And so, other than my water and electrolytes here, LMNT element. Um, Yeah, and so I'll wait until later on and see if I get hungry. And if not, I won't eat until tomorrow. And it's the way that it goes on this lifestyle is that I'm no longer like owned by my hunger clock. And that's such a gift. I used to be obsessed with food all the time. It's like, what am I going to eat for my next meal? And I had to have 3 meals a day. And then I'd have snacks in between. And in the evening, I was having snacks and usually having chocolate at night because that would make my blood sugar dive. And then I'd go to sleep. And, but, snoozing throughout the day because I just couldn't manage. My blood sugar was just so out of whack. So I had to constantly be intaking to keep my blood sugar high. And so my poor insulin, my pancreas was just producing insulin all the time. And so I feel like I'm really, in this 90 days in recovery and in recovery mode, and that my poor little organs are getting a chance to, for the first time, probably in my lifetime, getting a chance to just relax and chill. And I mean, that's amazing. So some other, benefits is like I was starting to wake up with really gooey eyes, and I'd have to like rinse them with water so I could see. That's gone. At about 3 weeks, all of a sudden, it was like I was driving down the home one evening. It was like suddenly everything became crystal clear, and my eyesight's much better. My hearing has cleared. I went through a period of about 4 days within, I think, in the second beginning of the second month, where there was lots of crackling going on in my ears, and it was like my eustachian tubes were popping in. And I think what was happening is the inflammation was clearing from my ears, and I can hear much better. I'm not saying what all the time. My breathing is great. After having COVID a couple times, my breathing was really, really bad, and I was on inhalers, and I haven't used, like in the couple of years after having COVID, my lungs improved. But every now and then I would respond to dust or pollen or something, and I would feel that tightening in my chest, and then I had it. I have inhalers all around to, just in case I needed it. And every now and then I would probably once a month I'd have to do a couple of puffs. Well, that's completely gone. I haven't used any of my inhalers, and when I find them, I'm just tossing them out. I've tossed out most of my medication. I had vitamin supplements up the wazoo. I have like a garbage bag of them. I'll post a picture in the next video once I get better at making these videos. Just this massive bag of old supplements that I took some of, but kind of never took. Uh, that I had it because I knew that I was like malnourished, and now I'm getting everything I need from the food that I'm eating, and I really feel it. Um, there's there's something that's really so sublime about being truly hungry and having a meal, and because high insulin carbs haven't blocked the satiety hormone in my stomach and my gut, to actually be eating, and all of a sudden it's like I've got half my steak is there. It's like I'm done. I don't want anymore. And it's the satiety hormone, um tells you you're satiated. And it tells you you're done. And it actually like changes your taste buds and stuff, and so it's like it just doesn't taste good. So it's like, Matt, I'm done. And I never feel really, really stuffed, but it feels sufficiently full, and it's just a feeling of contentment. And within minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes after eating, I feel energy. And for years and years, I've been so used to having, a high carb diet. And when I'm done eating, I want to fall asleep. And that is what I do. Probably the worst thing you can do. Um, but yeah, it's such a gift. Um, yeah, so I'm just kind of moseying along here, and just I feel so much gratitude. And the other thing too is, like I I feel more gratitude at every meal. Every time I am, preparing a steak or cutting up some ribs or something, I actually hold it, and I give thanks to that animal. And I just purchased a big like a half of a cow, and it came from a farm in Saskatchewan. It was had a good life, and I give thanks to it, and and I will with every single meal. So it had a good life, was dispatched with care, and beautiful family who nurture their animals. And yeah, it's an approach that's really congruent with my ethics, my Indigenous ethics. Um, yeah, and I feel good about. I'm really happy to not eat plants. I didn't know about plants. I didn't know. I understood. I couldn't quite figure out. Well, so if we eat fiber, which is plant cellulose, right? Plant cellulose that we can't digest, and our body's trying to get rid of it. If we then how is it that we're getting nutrition from it? And so it made perfect sense for me to learn that, well, cows have four stomachs, and so they're able to digest that cellulose, four stomachs, and then the cud, right? They chew it, they re-chew it. They're able to digest cellulose, and from that process, they're able to extract essential fatty acids and amino acids and all that good nutrition from those plants. And that's what's in there, that's what they store. And then that's what we're, in the fortunate position to consume. And it all makes sense to me. And I feel like in this 93 days that I have, my body has been renourished. And yeah, it's I don't even have the words for it. It's such a gift, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful to all of the people that I listened to over the years. Michaela Peterson was the first person I heard her story, and I was just blown away. So thank you, Michaela, because you've changed my life. And then all the other people, Jordan Peterson, her dad, and other people who have talked about how they've changed their lives and reversed chronic diseases. And I think about all our people who are suffering. I was suffering, and I was on the verge of, probably multiple chronic diseases, hypertension. I could have had a heart attack at the age of, 62 with all the stresses that I've been under. And I don't feel that way anymore. I feel like I feel excited, and I'm really happy about this. And my goal is crazy. My daughter laughs at me, but my goal is to do a triathlon before I'm 65. And if anybody wants to join me, let's do it. I mean, I still have to like get running shoes and learn how to run again, but I have started biking, and I was a competitive swimmer as a kid, so just gotta get back into the pool. And yeah, it's gonna happen. One step at a time, though, And so this is my first video. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to making more videos and sharing with you this journey, and hopefully providing helpful tips along the way. And so I'll do that in the next video. But thanks for listening, and you take care. All right. Peace out. Now, how do I stop this? Oh, here we go.